You know, we're having a great time up here in Atmore, learning more about the city, and people here are very proud of the progress that's being made. They're also proud of the small town feel.
Yes, the Porch Band of Creek Indians. You all have probably heard of this tribe. Maybe you've been to Wind Creek Casino. Maybe you've been come up to the powwow that's on Thanksgiving. But there's a lot more to this story that we're going to be talking about in the next hour.
To learn more about the history of Atmore, we had to do a little bit of a deep dive, and we turned to the person who maybe knows most about it, who's done the most research, and that's a local author, historian, and former librarian.
News 5's Bill Riles has that story.
When you're assigned to report on the history of a place, then naturally you want to find that one person who knows more than just about anybody else about it. Meet Nancy Karrick, who literally wrote the book on the history of Atmore.
I went as far back as I could go.
Right.
We went back to, the newspaper articles and memoirs started about 1875 maybe.
She got the idea for her book many years ago on a trip to England while her husband Charles was stationed in Europe. She wanted to go to Banbury.
And I said, I want to see if they've really got a cross there. Ride a cock horse to Banbury Cross to see a fine lady upon a white horse.
And she found it through a book by another author in England, which had a map of the town and information about the local buildings and architecture, and it gave Karrick an idea.
Why can't we do something like this for Atmore? And I told Charles, and he kind of snickered, and he says, I hate to tell you this, but Atmore doesn't have a cross.
But as it turns out,
the Louisville and Nashville Railroad runs east and west. The Frisco Railroad runs north and south, and they cross each other in downtown Atmore.
With that idea in mind, it did take another 30 years for the book to be completed, but it's full of memories of lifelong residents about what life was like way back in the early 1900s when the town was incorporated. And Atmore is not the original name of the town. It was once called William Station.
Because there was a man by the name of William Larkins Williams that actually lived down in Florida, right across the Florida line.
Williams used the existing railroad for supplies, but the town, like many towns in this region, formed largely because of the timber business. Karrick traced the origins of Atmore to about 1870.
There were 3 buildings here. There was a sawmill, a store, and a house.
The sawmill attracted workers who needed places to stay, stores to buy things, and a town was born. And soon, town leaders decided William Station wasn't a good enough name, so they changed the name to Atmore, which also has an interesting story behind it.
And it was named after an L&N traffic agent, who, by the way, had never been to Atmore and never came to Atmore. But somebody liked the name.
Bill Riles, WKRG News 5.